I can still remember the day I made my first Holy Communion, April 24th, 1960. It was a day that I will never forget, obviously. My teacher, Sister Kateri, was truly committed in making sure each and every one of us knew all the answers from our Baltimore Catechism, so when Father Lutz would walk in and he would quiz us, we have all the answers so we knew all of the specifics and understand that we were receiving this wonderful sacrament. Sister also would spend a little time every day, and she would have us gather our chairs in a circle, and she'd go grab her little chair, so she was sitting down right looking at each one of us eye to eye, and she would tell us wonderful stories about Jesus. But most of all, she told us how much Jesus sacrificed for us, and he loved us, and all of the things that when we hear about his suffering, that we're to offer him up to Jesus because he offered himself up for us.
In the month of July, we celebrate the precious blood of Christ. And naturally, whenever we think of our Lord's precious blood, we should think of the chalice. Whenever we think of the chalice, we want to think of suffering. It's a sign, it's a symbol of the suffering that we go through in this life. We think of our Lord's Prayer. Father, if it's possible, this chalice pass me by, but not my will, your will be done. And so whenever we come to the altar, whenever we celebrate the Mass, whenever we see the chalice raised, we think of the suffering that Christ went through on our behalf, the way in which he opened us up for the graces that he has in store for us. And we can sort of imagine the graces coming down from the cross, falling into the chalice, and then flowing out into the community before us. At least that's what pops into my mind as I elevate the chalice at Mass. We also want to take all of our sufferings, all of our struggles, all of our crosses, we want to bring them to Mass and, of course, offer them to the Lord. And so maybe a beautiful image for our prayer is to take our sufferings, to put them into the chalice at Mass, asking the precious blood to be poured out upon them, to cleanse them, to purify them, to offer whatever healing needs to take place so that we can know that love that God has in store for each one of us. Maybe just a couple of things to keep in our mind this month.
This month, we have Pints with Padre on July 1st. On July 7th is the Pitching for Priests cookout and game. On July 9th is Breakfast with the Knights, including a craft sale. And throughout this month, please pray for our youth attending Steubenville and the Totus Tuus program.